It appears we have finally made it live. Hello everybody and welcome to Misano in sunny Italy on all of our C drives. You're currently joining me, Christian Kopp, on the B server of the DGSR Tuesday League. Let's have a look at what is actually going on in the server. Incredibly, as you would expect it, none of this works. I do apologise, it is absolutely my first time. Let's have a look at the current standings. We're looking currently at a 30-minute quali session at Misano. Everybody is qualifying at the same time, and everybody's making their space. It's just going to be 30 minutes of hot lapping, and we're going to come out with the best times at the end. What we are expecting from our competitors today for the silver class, it's probably going to be lap times of around 1 minute 35. I've seen somebody go into the 134s earlier today. For our bronze drivers, we're more likely looking at lap times of around 1 minute and 37 seconds and thereabouts of quali. We're going to obviously see lap times a bit slower during the race. It's going to be a 55-minute race with a mandatory pit stop taking fuel and tyres. This Misano is a circuit 2.62 miles long, 4.2 kilometers, 16 corners with key action areas at turn 1, 4, 10, 13 and 14. The setups that these guys will be using today will be favouring high downforce and hard suspension. However, with the very long back straight, you are also expecting somebody to just crank the wing down and see if they can go for some overtakes and hope that they can hold on through the twisty stuff. In terms of the current standings in the silver class, our first racer is... If this decides to work, 1 second. There we go. In first place for now, Martin Hallidan in the silver class. Very fast driver, very good lap times, but we also expect that these lap times will keep coming down today. In second place, Wayne Bennett, one of our other staple drivers. Good lap time from him as well. We'll have a quick look at him doing some laps in his McLaren. In third place, Jacob Hale, our resident American, just coming onto one of the straights. Currently in fourth place, we do have a new leader in the silver category. Dave White, BMW M4 with a 35.0. That's a very, very respectable time. But once again, we do expect it to come down a little bit. That's our top four in the silver category. In our bronze category, we've got quite a standout performance right now by Ben Goymer in the 488, currently sitting 8th overall, ahead of even some of our silver drivers. Absolutely fantastic performance for now, with a lap time of 35.9. That's within a second of the leader right now, and absolutely that's fantastic lap time from him. In second place, Mark Schwartz, 37.9 in a McLaren 720. And once again, we're expecting these lap times to keep coming down as the session progresses. There's still 20 minutes of qualifying left for all of these guys. Usually what we run here is 15 minutes for the silver class, 15 for the bronze class. Today, due to a lower turnout and the possibility, I'm saying possibility because right now the weather is absolutely beautiful and sunny, there's also a possibility of rain today, and we might see some cropping up in the race. in third place in the bronze class, don't speak English, with a 38.5 right now, and once again, he's currently not on a hot lap, but we will see these lap times coming down. We do have Dave White coming into what will probably be a hot lap after this. He's currently on an out lap, but so let's watch along on what a fast lap of Misano looks like. Obviously, unless he fucks it up, but that is something that we can all wait and see. Dave White coming into the last corner before his hot lap. After really nail the exit, it's a decently long straight, but you keep on the left side for the first turn. Look for around 75 meters. Quick shift down, right turn, slow down enough for the left-hander, and now keep your speed up and try to keep it pinned for this very short straight. As soon as the tarmac ends, start braking, turn right. Very big compromise in these two corners for this left-hander, which will spit you out onto a very long straight, which Dave unfortunately has messed up the exit off. However, this straight is very important in lap time. Once again, around 75 meters, braking, and sharp left turn. Not a very important acceleration zone, however, it does set up a great overtaking opportunity into these set of corners. After this sharp right-hander, this is very important. It spits you out onto the longest straight of the circuit. Very good opportunity for overtaking, especially if you get a good exit and you're running a powerful car with less downforce. This corner, nothing to speak of. Easy flat. Over here, you're setting yourself up for the next one. Quick 2 shifts down, hook up the apex, keep driving. 2 more gears down. Hook up this apex as well, and keep going. Accelerate, slight lift into this left-hander, and as soon as the 50 board comes up to you, you brake, turn left, and make sure you do not take the track limits at the exit of that corner. That is my favourite personally place to invalidate a lap, especially when you're looking at something like half a second in the green. Nothing better than invalidating in the last corner. It was a very nice lap by Dave White. 36.1 invalid lap time, unfortunately for him, but definitely an interesting thing to have a look at. We've got Charlie McCabe, who's moved into second position ahead of Martin Halliden with a 35.4. Very nice lap time from him as well. Quick post onto the group Discord to make sure that people actually know that this is happening, and there is some entertainment to be had here, hopefully. Let's have a quick look at what the standings have done Dave White still in first position, followed by Charlie McCabe and Martin Hallidan in the silver category. Ben Goymer currently in the pits, still sitting in P1 for the bronze category, with Don't Speak English moving to P2 ahead of Mark Schwartz, all in the bronze category of drivers for today. We've got 15 minutes of qualifying left. We're halfway through. The weather looks like it will not be changing, and the track has been at optimum for the entirety of the session. Temperature has risen 1 degree on both air and track, and the wind has increased a little bit. However, this will not be having any major effect on the lap times, so we can still expect maybe somebody to get into the 34s, but definitely for the lap times in general to keep falling. Let's have a look at the lap times. Who's currently holding the fastest laps? We have incredibly a tie for the fastest Sector 1 between Dave White and Martin Hallidan of 23.7. The best Sector 2 time belongs to Rob Larby, who's currently sitting in 7th. And it seems like his main issue seems to be lying in Sector 3. So let's see if he can fix it and move himself significantly up the leaderboard. And the fastest Sector 3 lap time belongs to Dave White, as well as the fastest Sector 1. We do have a change for positions here at the top again. Wayne Bennett has overtaken Charlie McCabe with a 35.2, and once again Rob Larby, as we've spoken, improves his Sector 3 and moves into second position. So currently we've got Dave White, Rob Larby, Wayne Bennett as the top 3 for the silver category. And if I can manage to get the mouse to do what it needs, we've got Ben Goymer, Don't Speak English, and Mark Schwartz still the top 3 in the silver category. Look at somebody's lap. Matt Keys over here appears to be ready to start a lap, or he's just on an out lap. Let's have a quick look at what he can do on his quali lap. This corner that he's just gone through, incredibly important on this track. It's a great overtaking opportunity to carry as much speed onto this isn't straight. You really want to have quite a wide entry. That does leave you quite open to an attack. If somebody goes for a late braking dive inside, gets on your inside, alongside of you, if they do get better traction out of the corner, you can end up alongside them. It tends to be that you do have a better exit speed out of the corner. However, on the long straight, anything can happen. Okay, let's have a look at this lap time. Brake at the 50 board, right turn, set yourself up for the next left-hander. It's a great job. On this track, you really want to be cutting those corners as much as you can. You can see the runoff areas on the inside are massively wide, use them as much as you can. Once again, this right hand complex to set you up for the left-hander going onto this straight. Be very careful here not to invalidate your lap time. Unluckily, Matt Keys has done exactly that, and we will not see competitive lap time from him on this lap, of course. Let's have a look at Ryan Greenaway, whether he will go for another lap or if he needs a refuel. Definitely going for another lap. Across the start-finish line. Once again, wrong person to pick. Very unfortunate. Have a look at Joao Dominguez. We'll see if he can show us a lap time around Misano. Across the start-finish line, keep on the left, brake around the 50 board, turn in, set yourself up for the left-hander. Be careful not to hit those anti-cut curbs. Keep it flat if possible, and after the tarmac ends at the grass, start braking for this right-hand complex. You want to be cutting more of these corners, and on this one, keep on the right to set yourself up to try to keep the car as fast as possible onto the straight, carry as much speed as you can. Down the straight, just a drag race between people, around 75 meters, brake, many lines through this corner, many possible options on how to take it. All can be fast. Tricky braking zone here. Make sure you get a great exit onto the longest straight on the circuit. Keep it pinned. Go up through the gears and set yourself up to have a smooth turn here. This turn, also not much of a turn, but you are setting yourself up for the next 2 shift downs. Hook up the apex, a little bit of throttle, hook up the apex again after a little bit of braking. You do have to brake a little bit earlier than that, but keep it going. This left-hander tends to be very fast. Some people are able to make it without any braking. Once again, another left-hander. You have to be very careful not to run out of track limits on the exit of that. You do not want to be invalidating a good lap at the right at the end. From Joao Dominguez, that was a 39.2, unfortunately invalidated one of the turns earlier in the lap. We do have, once again, a change. At the front, we've got Wayne Bennett, who's just gone into the 34s. That's an absolutely amazing lap time. We'll see if Dave White can answer that call. In third position, Rob Larby, 35.1, excellent lap time. Lovely Porsche 911 over here. In the bronze category, Ben Goymer still leading the pack, 35.9. I don't believe he's been able to improve on that lap time for the duration of the session. However, he's getting very close. His last lap time was a 1:36.0, so it will only take one good exit to improve that. In second place in the bronze category, don't speak English, was 37.0, and in third place, Archwood's 37.4. 5 minutes left in this session. Let's have a look at if anything's changed. No, the top 3 still the same. Wayne Bennett, Dave White, Rob Larby, still the top 3. For Silver class, Ben Goymer, don't speak English, and we do have a change in the Bronze class with Sam Rock moving into P3 with a lap time of 37.3 ahead of Mark Schwartz, who is our former P3 holder. Sam Rock with a pretty decent lap time for the classic driver, to be honest. Very much loving the green livery with a pink alcohol man. This is great stuff, peak DGSR really. We do have something that is very surprising, and that's Ben Goymer moving from overall P8 to P7 with a lap time of 35.4. Absolutely incredible for a bronze class driver to be quite literally in the middle of the silver boys with a very, very, very competitive lap time. We've got a very close top 5. Actually, that's very close top 6 in the silver class, just because Charlie McCabe and Edward Wilkins have actually managed to do the exact same lap time. The way the classification works here, Charlie has clearly done this lap sooner than Edward, just because those are the rules. The sooner you do the lap, if you do the lap time sooner, you will be classified ahead of the person who's done the same lap time, however has finished that lap time later in the session. Ben Goymer though, with his Ferrari, absolutely flying, moving into the top 10. Very surprising for a bronze driver. Very impressive as well. Minutes left in the session for these boys in the pits. This is the time that they want to be coming out for their one last flying lap. Put 7 litres of fuel in the car, fresh new tyres, go for one last run. It's a sim, you're not going to break the car even though the race starts in 5 minutes time. Let's have a look at Dave White and just see how much you can cut the corners at Misano. In this braking zone, expecting him to go all the way onto the red, almost onto the grass. It is absolutely incredible how lenient the track limits are over here. Not quite lenient enough where if you run over the big curb you can get away with it. And I think that's the end of qualifying for Dave White, just because he's out of time. Doesn't have time to make the outlap. Let's have a look if P1 can improve. Up on his best lap time. Once again, gaining some time through these acceleration zones. A little bit of time lost here, but carrying plenty of speed onto the straight, not to lose any more. Still 2/10 up on his best lap time. Keeping it very far on the right over here. Cutting a lot out of this corner. Great traction. A little bit slower than his best, however still very nice. great acceleration out of here, gaining a lot of lap time in accelerating early over here. Cutting this corner, getting ready for this one. 2 downshifts, a little bit of a squirt of throttle, 2 downshifts again, hook up this apex, accelerate out, keep on the right. Can he keep it flat through here? Absolutely no problem. Key zone here, running a little far, however that will it be an improvement? Just missed it by 1/100th of a second. That is extremely unlucky there for Wayne Bennett. However, it still keeps him in first with as the only person who's managed to get into the 134s. Last car to be finishing, number 93. Martin Hallidan across the line, and we are moving into the start procedure. The session has ended. We do have about 90 seconds of time now. Go and grab your beers, guys. Go and grab your beers, because I know I am grabbing mine. Very well, welcome to the grid of this 55-minute race at Misano for round 4 of the DGSR Season 6. In the silver class, in first place, Wayne Bennett, BMW M4. Correction, in the McLaren 720. Second place, Dave White, in the BMW 888. Third place, Rob Larby in Porsche 911. Great selection of cars. It's great to see that not everybody is just using the same car. You know that a few months ago the M4 was a very good choice for league racing. However, that's since been slightly rectified, and people in this community tend to have a very good understanding of not just taking the OB car, driving something that we enjoy. Let's have a look at the bronze class. In overall P7, Ben Goimer. Absolutely incredible lap from him. Great job keeping it there with the big boys with the 135. In second place, solid 7 places down, Don't Speak English. Still not behind all of the silver drivers. Very nice lap time as well in his Audi 137. And in third place, in the end, Sam Rock with his McLaren 137 as well. Very nice lap time. very tight, it seems, in the at the head of the field in the bronze class, with what we will see as P16 and 16 down to 20. There will definitely be some interesting racing starting in a minute. At the top of the silver class, some good racing expected as well. Everybody's lap times were quite close. Of course, this being the B server, we are expecting maybe not the most precise driving, which, however, will hopefully make for more interesting racing, which is that's always what we're here for. 30 seconds until the start procedure starts. It's a very short outlap over here. You just start basically at the entrance of the pit lane. You have one corner to go through, and then go up to 70 kilometers per hour to the line. Hold it at 70 k's per hour, and then make sure that when those lights go green, hammer that throttle. Let's go. Let's get racing. It is entirely possible that some people might still be coming through the last corner when the lights go green.
Green light. Go, go, go.
Green lights, and we're moving. Wayne Bennett still ahead of Dave White. Into T1. Oh, Dave White has made a great start, actually. He is currently ahead of Wayne Bennett, moved up a position. Martin Halladin also overtaking Rob Larby into P3. Some movement as well in the later stages of in the farther stages of the race. Rage Atkinson overtaking Andy Hillier. Andy Hillier trying to come back on him unsuccessfully. Good move from Ben Goymer overtaking Edward Wilkins. Can he make up another position over here? This is absolutely fantastic driving from this bronze driver.
The pit is now open.
The pit window opening now and running until 1 minute before the end of the race. I believe there has not been any major contact during the entire start procedure, which is absolutely incredible. I haven't seen any big contacts, nobody spinning around. Great stuff. Dave White still in the lead of the race now, opening a bit of a gap to Wayne Bennett, who again opening a little bit of a gap to Rob Larby. And this is where the interesting racing is going to happen. P3 seems to be a very contested position in this race. We do seem to have a little bit of an error with Dave White. Oh no, I'm not sure what happened. Let's go a couple of seconds back and see if we can see any contact happening for Dave White, because he is in the pits. I wonder whether that was a drive-through for position. That now leaves Wayne Bennett in the lead of the race. Very unlucky there for Dave White. And similar situation for Edward Wilkins. Seems to also have had to do a drive-through. Very interesting development. It seems that our fastest people are actually very unluckily moving back, which should give them... Oh, we've got a great move here from Martin Halladin on Rob Larby. As I said, this is one of those long straights where you really can make something happen. And it seems like Rob Larby might be losing another position over here with Charlie McCabe. Oh, great move around the outside on Rob over here. Making it stick. We did see, if we go 30 seconds back, this move, absolutely fantastic from Rob Larby. However, a little bit of a situation here, which gave Charlie just the right chance to go for the overtake. Let's have a look at over here. Ryan Greenaway seemed to be a little slow. Let's have a look at what happened. A little bit of a slide in the right-hander going off the track. Very unfortunate for him, letting one driver through. Luckily for him, didn't manage to let anybody else through. However, it seems that later on in the lap, Degan Errol has managed to overtake Ryan as well. Charlie McCabe, now what happened here? Spinning. Let's have a look what happened here. Oh no, oh this is absolutely, he got robbed. Let me tell you what, he got robbed. Not quite sure who the offender was. Got Rob Larby. Being also the involved party here for sure. Degan Errol currently racing with Rob. Very interesting stuff. Somehow, I have absolutely no idea what happened. Let's have a look at a 60-second replay, because somehow we do have Ben Goymer in P1 off the entire race. Admittedly, he's doing very, very, very fast lap times. However, I don't think anybody was expecting one of our bronze drivers to make it into P1. It's absolutely incredible, good stuff. I was hoping to see on a replay where we would have some action from him and find out what happened to at the head of the race. However, didn't manage to find anything, unfortunately. Absolutely fantastic stuff here from Ben Goymer. Holding onto that P1. Jacob Hale chasing him down. His last lap was a little faster than Ben's, however, not by much. Wayne Bennett, it appears, has had an accident somewhere earlier, because he is currently moving into the pits. I wonder if that is the that's what happened and allowed Ben Goymer to go through, because if Wayne had a bit of an accident, and we did have quite a lot of changes right at the start, with Charlie moving back a few places and Dave White also being moved, whether the top leaders of the race have basically gotten some damage, which allowed Ben to move ahead. Let's have a look at how Dave and Edward are moving through the field. They're both from their drive-thrus. Managed to gain one position on João Dominguez. And they are very quickly approaching the rear of Mark Schwartz. You can see him just over there in the red McLaren. Very interesting to see how they get through the field. Ben Goymer still managing to keep off Jacob Hale. Still a respectable distance behind him as well. We do have a new fastest lap time of the race, and that's Rich Atkinson, who's currently behind Jacob. We'll see if there might be some interesting action. Nick Giles, Rob Larby, some interesting action going on here actually as well. This is getting very, very tight. We've got Degan Errol taking advantage. Absolutely excellent job here, taking advantage of the situation. Let's have a look at that move again from Degan Errol. This is the corner that I was speaking about. You have to make sure. That's great stuff from Degan Errol. You have to make sure that you do not leave that inside line open in that tightening corner, otherwise you will be overtaken just like that. Great move from Degan Errol. Here's that Mark Schwartz had a bit of an off to let Dave White on. Small error. Not really sure what happened there, but it doesn't seem like there's any big issues with the car. Dave White still moving through the field, followed by Eddie Wilkins in the back. Wayne Bennett, unlucky race for him, currently in the pits. We'll see if he does come back out of it. This is shaping up to be an interesting battle between Jacob Hale and Rich Atkinson here for P2, just behind. Incredibly, a bronze driver still holding on to P1. Some fantastic lap times, 36.0 from him with presumably full fuel. That's great stuff. Let's have a look back here at Rob Larby. Quick replay. Very slow there. Let's see if we can figure out what happened. Oh no, that is very unlucky. A little bit off outside curb there, and it just launches you into the wall. That's going to be a lot of damage. Now overtaken by Matt Keys as well. It seems like Rob Larby does have quite a significant amount of damage. He's going quite slow. It appears that he will probably be going into the pits on this lap. Not very far. Letting Don't Speak English through into the last corner before pit entry. And he does indeed dive into the pits. Unfortunately, that will mean he will lose all the positions he's worked so hard to gain. We do have Wayne Bennett back out on track. Hopefully he can make up some positions as well. Fingers crossed for him. He might even make it onto the lead lap. He is quite a significant amount of time behind, however. Rich Atkinson, meanwhile, has lost a bit of ground to Jacob here, even though his lap times are getting better, and they are faster than Jacob's. Here's that a small mistake has maybe crept into his driving. Seems to be a decent battle going on here between Andy Hillier in the black and red Aston Martin and Degan Errol in the red and white Porsche. These guys have been very close this entire race. We've already seen that Degan has some great race sense and is able to make moves. Very opportunistic driver, I would say, as well. Very interesting to see what happens. Dave White with the overtake on Chandler Bozek. who has made it easy for him just getting out of the way, letting the faster driver through. Dave trying to make way, making sure that he can make positions up. Change in position, P12, P13. John Collins and Igor Dobzhansky. Let's have a look if we can see the overtake happen. I see Igor just went a little wide. That left Joe space. He does back out of it to make sure that they can both continue the race safely. Let's have a quick rundown of the standings after 15 minutes of racing. At the head of the pack, still holding his own. Absolutely incredible job so far. Ben Goymer leading the bronze category. In second place in the bronze category, 10 places behind, Don Speak English. Opening up a fairly decent gap to John Collins, who's now moving away from Igor Dobzhansky. In the silver category, Jacob Hale trying his best to catch onto Ben Goymer, followed by Rich Atkinson in P2. There's definitely some interesting racing to happen here. And in P3, Degan Errol. We do have an issue. I wonder if this is an issue or if it is just an early pit stop, because I don't remember Martin Halladin or Andy Hillier being in any incidents. However, both may be taking their pit stops early, making sure that they've got full fuel, new tyres, and running the race to the end. Making sure that the track position, making the track position count. Of course, with the people who have already gone into the pits to do some repairs, perhaps, such as Wayne Bennett and Rob Larby, it is also absolutely fine for them to also take fuel, take tyres, get that pit stop out of the way, and then run the rest of the 55 minutes that they have left on that older set of tyres, and essentially try to save as much time as they can. Dave White making some great progress through the field, currently fighting with Igor Dobzhansky. Can he make the pass around the outside stake? This is onto the very long straight. It appears he didn't quite get good enough exit. Igor is still ahead. However, with the slipstream, is Igor brave enough to? No, it seems like Dave thinks better of it. Keeps his move absolutely incredibly for this tight right-hander. Dispatches with Igor like an absolute professional. This is great stuff. It's only a matter of time before he manages to get John Collins as well. He does have to be careful not to run into the back of him, though. It's one of those tricky situations where you have a driver who is... Oh no! We have Igor Dobzhansky, who has gone into the side of Dave White. Let's have a quick review of that situation. Coming out of the last corner, Dave gets held up by John in front of him, which gives Igor a chance to catch up. Then it seems that while Dave does brake, Igor maybe brakes a little too late and he goes into the side of Dave. That's very unfortunate there for Igor. However, when you are side by side, you do have to take care of the braking points and make sure that you are not running into the side of... Make sure basically that you will hold that tighter line that you have to take. Dave White doing a great job passing John Collins. His only other person from bronze that he will still catch up to is now Don't Speak English. Still quite a way away. However, I don't think that should be a problem with lap times that are almost 2 seconds faster. Ben Goymer, absolutely incredible job by this bronze driver. It seems like we might have to have a quick review of the ranking system, because this guy, fastest lap of the race for now, P1, bronze driver. It's a great job from him so far. Seems like we might have to have a quick review of. There is some movement at the back of the field. Sam Rock going into the pits to do his mandatory pit stop, moving to the back of the field, hoping to fight back through it. Andy Hillier moved back via a drive-through earlier in the race. Fighting his way through the field. Let's have a lap. Let's have a lap with Ben Goymer here and just have a quick look at what sets him apart from the other drivers. We do have John Collins and Edward Wilkins both going into the pits to do their mandatory pit stops. Quick look at just what this guy is doing in order to keep away from some very fast drivers in the silver class over here. It's a great run through the last corner, putting the throttle down. Nice late braking, hooking up the apex. A little bit unbalanced, but that's okay. Keeping it absolutely pinned through this right-hander, making the most of the speed from the two corners before, scrubbing all of that off. Big lift through here, making sure that he does stay on the track, doesn't have any issues like Rob Larby did before. Lovely late braking. This is one of those corners where carrying the speed and not being right at the apex can sometimes work depending on your driving style. Nice and early on the throttle, making sure he gets good exit out of here. Interestingly, going quite wide in that line, in that last open right-hander. Not usually a line that I see from people here. Usually people try to cut it as much as possible. Definitely not one of his best laps, even in terms of lap time. However, he's still managing to hold on to P1, which is some very good stuff. He's now followed by Martin Hallen, who's in 13th, coming out after his pit stop. P2, Jacob Hale, quite way behind already now. The fight with Rich Atkinson still on the cards. The field is now getting a little mixed up in terms of the places, so it's not quite as easy to follow. We We have Nick Giles going into the pits for his mandatory pit stop, which promotes Dave White into 8th position from what was once right at the start of the race. Dead last. Great job moving through the field. He's now caught up to Don't Speak English, I believe. Can he make the move on the driver and make it stick, get past? Or will one of them go into the pits before that happens? Big dive there from Dave. Scrubbed off a little too much speed, not quite managing to move past Don. This can be a little bit of an issue when you do have a faster driver trying to overtake somebody who is a little slower. The closing speeds at some of these corners can tip them into dive bombs, which actually basically don't achieve anything and just slow down the faster driver. However, it is the frustration where you just want to get ahead, so you want to get moving. And over here, Dave White, great setup. Don did go a little wide in that wide right-hander, but great job making the move stick. Meanwhile, Matt Keys dropping into the pits, which promotes Dave White into 6th position. We do have 30 minutes left in the race. Let's have a quick look at the standings. In P1, still for the bronze, Ben Goimer. Incredible job so far. Very impressive drive. In P2, now we're moving into the silver drivers. We've got Jacob Hale, who's being very closely followed by Rach Atkinson. This has been, it's never quite gotten into a proper fight just yet, but these two drivers have been glued to each other. Is there a chance that we're going to see something happen over here? Let's have a look. The Audi does tend to be a little better in the corner, so he might be able to stick with the Lexus. Goes a little wide. Through that complex, just loses all of that time that he's been looking for. There has been a move for position here. It is Eddie Wilkins moving past Don't Speak English, who is just coming out of the pits. Not quite fast enough from the pits, from the pit lane, giving Eddie run. After we've had a quick look at this battle in 3rd place in the silver category, Dagan Earl. Some very good passing from him for the earlier in the race. Opportunistic driving, promoting him into a position, being attacked from behind by Charlie McCabe. This might be interesting with Eddie Wilkins trying to get past. Charlie dives into the pits, not wanting to get held up and not wanting to crash anybody. It's probably a good idea. He will come out near Dagan after his pit stop, of course. In the bronze category, Ben Goimer, P1. Overall, P1. Incredible stuff. In bronze P2, we've got Cender Brezek. don't think he's been for his pit stop yet, so these positions might not be completely representative. However, very good driving to be keeping in 5th. And Mark Schwartz, some very good driving as well, in 6th position overall. However, I believe he has not had his pit stop just yet either. Quick replay here of a move. It appears that Matt Keith has gone a little wide in that corner, allowing Edward Wilkins through, which will allow him to now pressure Degan Errol. See if he can unlap himself, or if Degan will be going into the pits sometime soon. There we go, Degan is in the pits now. It'll be very interesting to see where he does come out. It'll probably be not be losing too many positions actually. Do also have, this is probably his big threat right now, Charlie McCabe going onto the back straight. Dave White overtaking him in the pits, however he will end up behind him just because he does still need to complete his pit stop as well. Keep in mind that there is a mandatory tyre change of 30 seconds in ACC. Again, is coming out of the pits now. Can he make it ahead of Charlie McCabe, who's just coming out of the last corner? There is a mandatory 30 seconds to do the tyre change. There is also a fuel refill mandatory in this race. However, that does not tend to take nowhere near as long as the tyres, so it always tends to be a good idea to go half and half. And then Charlie McCabe quite comfortably actually moving ahead of Degan Errol, who did come very close to Nick Giles here. And Andy Hillier going a little wide. I wonder if that is just to let the leader through. However, it is very interesting that we do have the leader lapping cars that are in P6. He does still need to complete his pit stop, so let's keep our fingers crossed that that will not have any big effect. Martin Allen, that was a great move and a great comeback there from Andy Hillier. And there's a little tap. He does right him, however that will be damage there for Andy Hillier. It's a very disappointing time. It is just a little bit of a slow, yeah, broke a little bit too late. There's nothing he could have done, and then Andy was just a passenger in that crash. It is quite fortunate that he wasn't turned around and didn't have to do 360. However, it is still very unfortunate. He didn't lose too much time, but there's bound to be a little bit of damage to that Aston Martin. Let's go back and have a look at this change of position. It appears that Jacob Hale has gone into the pits, leaving Charlie McCabe in the lead of the silver category. In fact, that is not what happened. Let's see if we can figure out what happened. No, he did go into the pits. That's fine. We've got the leader of the race, Ben Goimer, now coming into the pits. It'll be very interesting to see if he nails his pit stop, manages to get out, back into the lead of the race. Charlie McCabe. Very good job driving right now. do have a bit of an issue over here. Let's have a look at what happened. Mark Schwartz and Rob Larby. Mark Schwartz coming in the front. Rob Larby this replay function is not really my best friend right now, but it seems that I see what happened. It is a very unfortunate situation where Mark just lost it coming out and Rob Larby was just collected. There's absolutely nothing he could have done, and he was just very unlucky to be in that position and get some damage at the front of his car. Ben Goimer absolutely incredibly managing to come back out the front of the race. To answer the question, there is the Hitman. You're currently watching the stream for the B server. We thought these boys should have some love as well. Make sure we see some of their racing as well, because it is some interesting stuff. Right, I believe that everybody is now moving through their pit stops, so the standings are a little more accurate. In first place, still incredibly, Ben Goimer, the bronze driver, who will undoubtedly be putting some sandbags into the car. Still in P1, absolutely incredible. In P2 of the bronze class, 10 places behind him in the overall standings. Don't speak English. And in P3, Chen Debrecek. In the silver class, currently being led by Charlie McCabe, followed by Nick Giles and Jacob Hale in P3 for the silver class. This is shaping out to be quite an interesting three-way battle here between Nick, Jacob and Degan. There could definitely be a little bit of fight, and then one of these drivers will just come out on top of this. Yellow flag here with Juraj Obrzanski. A quick look what happened. Once again, just a little bit too late braking, going across the whole thing, but it appears, going across the whole track, but it appears that he did manage to get out of the way on time. Wayne Bennett, the unfortunate victim of that slightly late braking. Very unfortunate race for him, it seems. He did have a great start. He did start P1, now sitting in P18 after spending quite a lot of time in the pits, let's face it. A bit of damage here and there. However, he did manage to get the fastest lap of the race and take it away from Ben Goimer by just 0.05 of a second. A little bit less than 20 minutes to go in this race. As we've spoken before, Degan Errol, Jacob Hale and Nick Giles, this is going to be shaping out to be an interesting battle here indeed. What happened here is that Jacob has gone just a little too wide there. Didn't quite manage to hold off Degan after going wide. Which releases Degan to chase after Nick Giles. We'll see if he can catch up. going are still comfortably leading the entire race. He does have a 17-second gap to P2. It seems like this is definitely good racetrack for him, and maybe some sandbags need to be removed from the car for the next one. Dagan Errol doing a great job here, catching up to Nick Giles. It seems like there will be a move over here. Can he keep it around the outside? Oh, can he close the door? Absolutely fantastic move there by Dagan Errol. Is there anything that Nick can do in return? Neither the McLaren nor the Porsche very fast down the straights. This is a big straight coming back. Unfortunately for Nick, there is absolutely nothing he can do. Dave White getting closer to Andy Hillier here. And also Rob Larby coming onto... He's definitely coming onto Sam Rock over here. Some very interesting stuff going on. He does get through Silver. The bronze driver lets the silvers through. It is for position. I'm not really sure how I feel about these sort of gifted overtakes. However, at the same time, understandable that you want to keep racing your race, especially if you are Sam Rock and you do have Mark Schwartz right behind you. Something interesting might be going on here again with Jacob Hale catching up to Nick Giles, who's I wonder whether his tyres have been used up a little bit in the last 40 minutes of racing, and may have them a little too warm or a little too... Oh dear, what happened here? Let's have a quick look. Got Sam Rock and Mark Schwartz. I see. Rob Larby surprised Mark Schwartz in that turn, and he did just have to take the... Apologies, Rob Larby surprised Sam Rock in that corner, and he did have to take evasive action, which then put him behind Mark Schwartz. Still some very interesting racing going on here between Nick Giles and Jacob Hale. We'll see if we can follow this fight for a while, maybe wait for an overtake somewhere here. The Lexus is quite a strong car on the straights. It does sound great as well. However, the McLaren is definitely one of the strongest cars in the turns, especially the Titan technical ones over here. Just carry a little bit more speed than the Lexus. He does go wide though. That will cost him a little bit of time on this straight. Jacob's having a look. They are at the tail end of Joao Dominguez as well. They will probably both want to get past him quite quickly, but he could play a very interesting role in this fight. He moves aside, spooking maybe a little bit Nick Giles. Jacob did see it coming absolutely from a mile away, so he did catch up to Nick again. those turtle curves, the quite tall sleeping policeman, which just destroys traction out of the corner. We hear Dave White very close to Andy Hillier here. Can he make something happen into this corner? Not quite. However, this is also shaping up to be very interesting. We know that Dave has currently got the fastest lap of the race, 1:35.3, and him and Andy are lapping around the same lap times, so this isn't a very clear-cut fight. Meanwhile, oh dear, oh no, we're going to have a look back at what happened here while we were away. Jake braking a little too late. What happened here? The inside line. That, to me, looks absolutely like it was net-coded. Very fair of Jacob to wait for Nick, because it's just unlucky. It just seems to me like the cars didn't touch, but ACC obviously saw a little bit of a different situation. The fight continues though, however, it does let Deganero move away. 5 seconds now away from Nick Giles, so in the last 10 minutes that's probably him clear of that fight. Well, this is a great overtaking move by Dave White onto Andy Hillier. Let's go back quickly to Jacob and Nick. This has been a great fight for the last 15 minutes. The better straight line speed of the Lexus in the tow. However, Nick with the McLaren is just able to hold that much higher of the minimum speed in the corner that he does manage to keep in front of him. There are some very close fights coming around here. Got Martin Halliday over here catching up to this Giles and Hale fight, hoping maybe to get some positions out of some errors. We do have Andy Hillier trying to follow Dave White, doing a very good job sticking to him for now. We do have Don't Speak English still holding on to the back of Matt Keys. Very good stuff going on around here. Very interesting racing all around. We do have 3 battles within a second. This looks like it could be a great 3-way battle over here. One of these guys makes a mistake and it just promotes the third one into 4th position. That's a great haul of points, and it's also, keep in mind that 4th position is podium within their class, because this race is still somehow being led by Ben Goimer, out in front by even more time now, almost 20 seconds, 18.5 seconds ahead of Charlie McCabe right now. Our bronze driver leading this Server B for the time being. Trying to cut as much of that track as possible. It is really easy to cut corners at Misano. Look at that, Martin Hallen making the opportunistic move, not thinking better of it. However, this little bit of a wider run could give him a chance. In the tow, a little bit faster. Can he do something into this corner? He does have a lug. Oh, this is very close racing. This is really good stuff, guys. And it very quickly, as you can see, turned into a three-way battle between Dagan, Nick and Jacob to a little bit of a mistake, but into a three-way battle for a position behind, giving Dagan that little bit of a gap. What an absolutely gorgeous move. That straight line speed of the Lexus just making it a little bit easy there. On the inside, forcing Nick to brake a little bit differently than he is used to. Let's have a look at that move again. Very nicely covered off on the outside. There's nothing that Nick could have done about that at the exit of the turn. Very nice pass there from at a very crucial time in the race, of course. 5 minutes left in the race, guys. 5 minutes left. And there's Martin Halladin going into the side of Nick Giles. Nick Giles quite lucky that he didn't get taken out there. Let's have a look at that again. A little bit of a slower exit. Martin just manages to keep it, and I'm not really sure how well. We'll see what the stewards say about this one. This is one of those racing incidents, I feel, and that also managed to promote Dave White into P5 or 4th position in class, just because Nick was a little bit slow on the straight. Not much he could have done there. Very unlucky for him. Same with Martin as well. Dave has managed to get to 2 places there, and just like that, it just completely turns the battle on its head again. And we do have a new contender as well, Dave White. He's been lapping very quickly. Currently, his last lap is about 1.5 seconds quicker than Jacob in front of him. 2.5 seconds. There's just about 2 laps. Yeah, just about 2 laps left. There is an entirely a possibility that Dave could catch up to Jacob here. We did have a lot of very interesting fights here. Chen Debracek with a little bit of an off, same with Joao Dominguez. There's not going to be much effect for Dominguez, but Chen Debracek managed to keep his position fairly secure. Don't Speak English chasing down Matt Keys, the first, let's say the first non-Bronze Point 5 driver chasing down one of the silver drivers. Some very good stuff again. Martin Halladin once again quite close to Nick Giles here. Some very good stuff going on here. They are neck and neck. Martin Halladin just comes out a little better. Nick Giles does have to go into the pits. I do wonder whether that is a meatball flag for repairs, because otherwise I don't really understand why he would go into the pits. Samrock, not really sure what happened here. He does want to make sure that there's not going to be any massive track cutting to cause a disqualification, but he does rejoin safely, and he lost a couple of positions there, but he does rejoin safely. That's the important part. I wonder if there's something wrong with his car, perhaps not quite enough fuel to finish the race.
The pit window is closing now.
1 minute left to the end of the race. We have Ben Goymer still in the lead. He will now be going into his final lap. Don't speak English, just keeping up still with Matt Keys.
The leader is on the final lap now. Give it all you can.
As the spotter for the non-existent race car says, leader's on the final lap. Over here, Nick Giles just managed to... I see what happened. Nick Giles probably cut the corners one too many times, did have to do a drive-through. Now he gets to fight with Chandler. Interestingly, kind of lets him through, but also puts the fight back on him. Don't speak English and Matt Keys in the closing lap of this race. Doing some great work here. Over here, it appears that Martin Halladin even was struck with the same problem. Seems like a drive-through for exceeding track limits, which promotes Andy Hillier and Eddie Wilkins into 2 positions ahead. Ben Goymer, absolutely incredible job. Got into the lead through a series of drive-throughs, accidents. Managed to keep the lead, managed to extend that lead to 24 seconds. Now going into the last corner. And there he goes. He goes in to claim P1 in the B server. Absolutely incredible stuff. Second driver across the line will be Charlie McCabe. Very solid race from him as well. He was sort of sneakily promoted into P2 after quite a lot of shenanigans with the pits and stuff like that, but very solid drive from him as well. Dagan Earl comes to take the bronze medal. Jacob Hale, good job, keeps P3 in the silver category. Eddie Wilkins here. Great job by everybody finishing the race. And now we are looking at the silver positions for the bronze category. Ken Don't Speak English still make something happen. Nick Giles over here still fighting. Oh, very close here. Don't Speak English, very close. Can he make something happen in the last corner? Very unlikely, but regardless, that's a very good job. That's a very good job there by Don to move into the bronze position. Apologies, into the silver position, and Chen Lebusek into the bronze position of the bronze class. And that's the race done, everybody. Thank you very much for watching. I'm just going to have a quick look for the winners of the race and see if we can get some interviews. Let's get Charlie McCabe and hopefully Ben Goymer into here. Hello gentlemen, welcome to the commentary box. I bet you didn't expect that. Yeah. I just want to get a little bit of a lowdown from you two on how you think your races went. Should we start with Charlie because, well, P1 in your category, P2 overall, very good stuff. Yeah, I didn't get any information over here on the sort of false starts, so good to know that they were false starts, but yeah, thank you very much. And Ben. Hello. Absolutely incredible. You did a great job. I mean, going into P1 as a bronze driver, you need to remove some of those sandbags from your car for practice, mate. No, absolutely, and you kept a great pace throughout, and even your qualifying, you were seventh, a good solid 7 positions ahead of the next bronze guy. So yeah, well done to both of you. Congratulations, and go celebrate. Well, ladies and gents, let's have a look at the chat. Right, it appears that we had no audio from the commentary box drivers. Essentially, both of them, unfortunately, I didn't quite use my brain enough to manage to get them onto the stream, but both were saying that they thought they got quite lucky with the drive-throughs of the leaders, who got penalties for false starts and some wrong turns, and both of them kept their head down, kept it clean, made sure to consolidate those positions. Great job from both of them, especially from Ben. He was saying that he was very happy with his pace. But with the server now restarting,